Good morning, everyone, or just about still the morning. Welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live. Thank you very much for joining me later this morning. So normally I'm on at 10, as you all know, but it's 11:30 this morning because I've been out doing a wedding cake. So all being well, you've actually remembered and tuning in at 11:30. If you haven't remembered and you are watching it back, then you are more than welcome to say catch up with it later on. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So we're at Tracy Mann Cakes for YouTube, and if you're watching it on this channel, then we are live on Facebook. Well, we hope we are anyway. We'll soon find out when Kelly starts commenting. There we are. Good morning. So Kelly is with us in sort of spirit. She's over in the Netherlands. There she is, and she is commenting from there for the first hour this morning. Good morning, Kelly. I miss you. Come home. So Kelly is going to be there for an hour or so, and then I'm hoping Nikki's available to take over. So we'll see how we go anyway. So good morning, everyone. There's loads of you logging in. Thank you so much. I do realise I am delayed this morning, but I did have to go off and do a wedding, and I have literally run in the door and switched on the cameras. So I'm not as organised as I would like to be, but we will work our way around it, and hopefully everything will be okay. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you, Kelly. I was concentrating. Talk to you later, Kelly. So there we go. So we're going to be looking at a few things this morning. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going to be happening with Let's Shop over the summer, and also talking to you about some of the classes that are coming. And there's always changes, so we'll talk about the things that are changing as well, so you can find out exactly where you're going to be able to find me, live or not live, as the case may be, and we can go from there. So we're live today. So what are we today? The 11th of June. This is our last live on Saturday in June, because the next 2 Saturdays I've got weddings and I've also got a holiday. So I'm not going to be live for the next 2 Saturdays. So what we've done is we have put in an evening one on a Tuesday. So Tuesday evenings where you would normally find me live on other places anyway, but this one I don't have anything scheduled in. So I'm going to be going live on the 21st of June in the evening here on Let's Shop. So not anywhere else, here. But that event will be put up onto this Facebook page. So if you are thinking, well, where is she? I don't know where to find her. I will be on this page on Tuesday, the 21st of June in the evening. Kelly, please put that in your diary. And we'll be live from 6:30. So that's where we'll be starting from on there. So, okay, so no Saturday Let's Shop next week on Saturday or the following week. We're going to be halfway between the two on a Tuesday evening. It's really, really difficult at the moment, as you can imagine. I'm trying to race around doing all these weddings as well. I've just driven goodness knows how far, 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back, and set up a huge wedding and race back for this. So I'm finding it quite difficult to get all this in. I still want to continue with Let's Shop, so that's why we've adjusted the time today, but we are going to have to do the next 2 are going to have to be on an evening. So we are going to be moving things around just so we can accommodate everything, because we do like to stay in touch. We do want to continue with these lives and show you all the amazing things that we keep coming up with. When I say we, I do still definitely mean Kelly, because we have been chatting away to each other before she left, and no doubt we will when she's bored and fed up and wants to talk to me. So let's talk about classes this week. So as ever, if you need to buy or get involved in any classes, you need to go to a different website, which is tracymancakeschool.co.uk. And today we have the tiger painting class coming out. Someone's just said they've been watching it. So this is the tiger cake. I'm going to hold that up there for you so you can see it. So this is a cake painting class. So you can purchase it as a one-off class, or you can join as a member. Now, if you want to do this class, you'll need to be joined in as either a gold or silver member. This is not available to the Sugarcraft group because it's not Sugarcraft, it's cake painting. So we have got this one here for gold and silver members this morning. So if that applies to you, then you're going to find that that's going to appear this morning. Now, the gold members have already got their class because they get everything the day before everybody else. That's another perk of being a gold member. So they've already got access to this already. I know some of them have been watching it because I can see. And then the silver members will get theirs this morning as well. So there we are. It is a lovely class to do. It isn't easy, I'm not going to lie to you, but then some of you have risen to the challenge recently and done lots of things like the Jubilee Crown, of which of course some of you have done an amazing job. Well, all of you have done an amazing job. I mean, the fact you've even attempted it, I couldn't believe how many crowns were coming through at one point. So So amazing. This is a challenge as well. Now, if cake painting is something you think, oh, no, that's not for me, don't be put off. I would question to you how many times you might have said that over things like airbrushing, royal icing, chocolate, those kind of things. And all you need to do is start at the beginning. So if you think this is something you'd like to do, but you're a little bit in fear of it, then why not try the beginner's cocoa butter painting course first and see how you get on with that. And I'm pretty certain you'll be hooked once we get in there to get going with something like this. So this is completely possible. But if you find that you do need a little bit of practice first, then the beginner's cocoa butter cake painting class is available as well. And just remember as well, if you join as a monthly member, it's $12.50 for the gold members. And they've got access to this straight away and everything else as well. So all the other classes that are coming up and all these other things. This one, someone just said, is fascinating to watch. This one starts off as, I can only describe as a horror story. And when I was filming it, I kept sending pictures to Kelly going, Kelly, just look at this. Oh my goodness. It really does change dramatically. So I always say when you're doing anything like cake painting, you really need to hold on and keep going, because suddenly it turns a corner and you go, yes, I've got it. I know what to do here. So if you think this is a challenge, I would turn around to you and say that I think the Imperial Crown cake, which so many of you did do amazingly well on, is this. I think the Imperial Crown is harder than this. So there you go. So anyone who's going, oh no, it's too hard for me, I think the Crown is harder. So if you've done the Crown, then there's no excuse. If you want to have a go at cake painting but you're unsure, then why not try the beginner's one first and see how you get on with that. It is something with this that you just have to keep going. Just take it step by step by step. And you'll look at mine and you'll realise that it does have to go through this horror stage, because it does look terrible until about sort of 3/4 of the way through, and then suddenly it turns a corner and you go, actually, I love this. And every time I do a cake paint, Kelly will tell you as well, I'm always in fear of doing it and thinking, gosh, am I going to make this go right? So there it is. There's the tiger. This was requested by one of my gold members, Tracy, so I am watching to wait to see what she does. She asked for it, so she's got to do it now. I have had a couple of other requests from the gold members as well for various other things, so we have got some other classes coming up. I am taking note of all their suggestions, because what I want to do is create a school where people can actually go on there and do the things that we all want to do, but in a nice, quick and simple, easy way. That's the most important thing, isn't it? Is that everything looks very effective, but not spent too long. This is going to take you a while, but not spend too long. Although the Imperial Crown was a bit of a bit of a hike, bit of a challenge. There we go. Yeah, if you are a member as well, you can just watch these videos. You don't have to actually do them. It's not compulsory or anything like that, so but you do get the opportunity to sit and watch it come together, and it is really quite an interesting one to watch. Now there are certain elements of that course that you're going to need. One of them is a chalk pen, which we are waiting for to come in on Tuesday, and then tangerine and sunset orange dust, which have gone into sort of, well, they've disappeared. So we have a very limited supply of tangerine and orange at the moment. So if you are planning to do that course, please make sure that you get your bits and pieces lined up, because we're, again, supply issues are like this at the moment. It's all over the place, but we are working really hard to get everything in as soon as we can. So the tiger class is now out. As I say, for the gold members, they have it already. The silver members will get theirs shortly, and for everybody else, again, you don't have to join as a member, but I'm telling you now, it's better value than it is just paying for the class outright, because you get to then have access to everything for a long period of time, or longer period of time. So enjoy it. I'm pretty certain that I'm hoping that some of you are going to jump on board and have a go at that and see how you get on. So that's the next class that's out today. So that's the class that's out today. What's next? That's always the next question, isn't it? What's coming next? Of course, I have one lined up ready for you, and I know this one has been hotly anticipated, because this is a class that you will see everywhere, and it's a really, really nice cake to do. So there we go. So the next class that's coming out on the Cake School is the 2-tier log wedding cake, and this one is going to show you, it's not going to show you those flowers, I'm just going to tell you that right now. Those are silk flowers that are on there, but it's going to show you everything else. So it's going to show you how to prep your cakes. It's going to show you how to create the bark effect that's going around the cakes, both of them. It's going to show you how to paint them. So I'm going to show you all the colours that I use to paint them. And it's going to show you how to do the lavender bits that are up the side as well, if you can see those. And also all the shading with connection with the grasses and all the other bits and pieces that are on this cake. Now, I'm going to say to you that this is going to be incredibly popular, this class, and I think it's brilliant. And I've done this cake for a number of weddings, so it's not one I've just gone, oh yeah, we'll do that one. I strongly believe this is a very popular cake, and I've had loads of people request this, and it's a nice, simple, straightforward one to do. I know it looks complicated, but believe you me, this is not that complicated. It's just a matter of lining everything up, getting all the right colours going, getting the right bits of paint going, and you're going to love it. It's a great one to do, very effective. And also, you don't have to do it as a two-tier. Don't be put off if you see any of the classes and think, well, what am I going to do with a two-tier cake? Do it as a single tier. You can do a really lovely log cake with a nice topper or a few flowers, all those bits and pieces. You don't have to do it as a two-tier cake, but it is a small cake. It wasn't actually huge. I've got it behind me actually. I don't know why I put that picture up there. I've just realised it's behind me. Let me pick this up so you can see how big it is, because it's always better to see it in perspective a little bit, isn't it? There it is. There you are. That's the cake. So that's the next one that's coming up on the Cake School. Now this one, again, you can buy it in its own right, or it's going to be part of Gold or Sugarcraft membership for this one. So that's where you would find it. So if you join as a Gold member or as a Sugarcraft member, then you will have access to this one. If you are a Sugarcraft member, you won't get access to the Tiger that we've just talked about. So just bear that in mind when you look at what you're purchasing. Try and decide which one it is that you want access to. So that's the next one coming up. I do like that one. It's my mum and dad's initials. D&C. So there you go. You can do any initials you like, but it's a lovely cake to do. It's ever so straightforward and it's just so pretty. I'm going to show you around the edges there. Look, I'm going to hold it up close so you can have a nice little look there at what's going on the side there. So it's really pretty, this one. I love it, but I am going to put it down in case I drop it, so we're going to put that back up there so I don't drop it. There we go. So that one's been a while coming. It's been done a while. I've been waiting for wedding season. We are surrounded by rustic barns here in Buckinghamshire. We have them everywhere. So that's why, again, I get requests for so many of these type of cakes, because we do have barns absolutely everywhere. So that is a new course that's coming out in about 2 or 3 weeks time. Kelly will probably be able to find the class and link it so that if you want to buy it, so if you buy it, that means you've got access to it forever. If you join as a member, then you have got access to the class as you go along. Okay, so what else was I going to say? So that's all the 2 new classes. So we've got the Tiger one that's out now, and we have got the log cake, which is coming out shortly. The other class that I did talk about, on which we've had a surge of people trying to join this class without paying for it, which is, I don't know why or where it's coming from, but we have had a lot of people trying to buy or trying to get into the group how to price your cakes. Okay, now how to price your cakes isn't part of any of our memberships. It is a class that's bought in its own right. We have put it on offer, so we had it up for £15 and it is up for 10 at the moment, so it's nice. So you do get the opportunity to purchase a class for a little bit cheaper, but we suddenly had a surge of people, one about 2 or 3 days last week, and I'm talking about 30-40 people trying to join this class without paying, and I don't know where it came from, but what I am saying is that it is such good value that I am pushing it all back and saying, no, you need to buy your ticket, because this is a brilliant class, and I know at the moment how emotive it is about basically cake pricing, because we all drive down the road past the petrol station and go, oh my god, the petrol's gone up again, and then we go into the supermarket and the eggs have gone up again, and it's all that kind of thing. And how to price your cakes is a really good class for helping you to price your cake so you know what you're doing. And I'm also on that Facebook group, because it is a closed Facebook group, reminding you to check your prices and point things out to you. So it is really, really important. If you want to join that class, then please do go ahead. It isn't part of membership. It's on offer at £10 at the moment. It's normally 15, but I've given you a bit of a discount, and that's because there aren't many sale things on at the moment, and I thought I'll give them a bit of a discount on that class. Why not? How to price your cakes. It couldn't be any better, could it, at the moment? But if you have a look at it, then I'm sure that you will find it extremely helpful. It's probably going to be the best £10 you've ever spent, because it's not only about pricing your cakes, it's also about dealing with customers and the shock and the horror when you tell them how much their cake is. All of that kind of thing is covered in this course. And I know there's loads and loads of people on here who have already done that course and will back me up and say it was a brilliant course, and I've referred back to it. I've watched the second live. I did a couple of lives on there. They've watched those as well, and they've had new sheets that they can keep printing out as well to help them along the way and fill out your own pricing. So it's not about me handing over my price list and going, there you go, off you go. It's about creating your price list. But I have done and worked through an entire cake with you, so I've shown you how and where you're going to get to with everything. Very, very important at the moment. Stay on top of your prices. Don't let that get too carried away. Even the ones who do cupcake bouquets, I mean, myself included, I've put my prices up this week. I've had to, because I'm now cringing every time I buy butter and everything else that goes with it. So the price has got to go up, and that's it. So if people want them, they'll pay for them. They will understand. But if you're unsure, then how to price cakes is a class that's definitely going to help you. So there's an awful lot going on with the Cake School. So as we start to go into the summer, we are now coming into wedding season for me, and also I am going to be doing slightly less lives, because I am focusing on the content of the Cake School for basically October, November, December. So Christmas, I'm actually at the point of painting Halloween now, which is a bit mind-blowing because my head's not in Halloween at all, but that's where I am at the moment. So we are moving now towards those things. So the lives are going to go down a little bit, and while I just tackle that side, and then we will go back up again in September. So the regularity of me appearing on Saturday mornings is going to drop a little bit at the moment. We may do 1 or 2 a month. Also on the other channel, Make It, Bake It, Decorate It, which is another place you'll find me. Again, there's going to be slightly less on there as well. Plus I've got holidays, as has everybody else. So there's lots going on. So please keep an eye on that event page, because that's going to really help you. But also sign up for the newsletter, because again, that will also point you in the right direction of what's actually going on. So if you're unsure and you think, well, I don't know, where is she? Go and have a look on there, or sign up for the newsletter via the website, and we will keep you posted on what's going on. Right, so that is the courses. Let's go back to Let's Shop. I just want to put, someone just said about Halloween. When it comes to Halloween and Christmas, because we have to work ahead, honestly, I have to close the blinds. And sometimes when it's in August and I'm painting for Christmas, it is quite mind-blowing. But if you draw the curtains and pretend it's not hot outside, it's fine. But it is a bit strange, I have to say. By the time I get to Christmas, I'm done with it, because I'm already moving on to Easter. So yeah, it's always going at quite a speed. Right, so we're going to do a few demos today. We're going to do a few bits and pieces. We've got some cakes coming up that we're going to be doing next week as well on Make It, Bake It, Decorate It. I'm going to give you a little kind of hint and show you some of the stuff I'm going to do for that as well. I would say I'm prepared, but I'm not that prepared this morning. I have got a few bits and pieces that I'm going to need to do in a minute just to kind of help me get through this. I'm also going to do a cake from scratch. So I have got a cake on standby behind me, which we're going to ice. Nice simple decorations, some of which I've done in advance already. So you'll be able to see that coming together quite quickly. It's for my aunt, because my aunt's birthday today, so I'm going to take a picture of her with her cake later. So as with my family for the last few years, or whenever, my entire life, they get given cakes randomly when I need to do live. So it's her turn today, so I'm going to be taking that up to her this afternoon. So we're going to be icing a cake using our strawberry cookie cutter. So this is one that we did feature a long time ago. It's tiny, it's a very sweet little cookie cutter. I'm going to put that on there now so you can see it. There it is. That's my little cookie cutter. I'm going to run to the other side of the room and get my tape measure, because I've just moved that over here. Right, let me tell you how big it is. And in a minute, I'm going to run some videos so you can see how to ice this little sweet little cookie. Right, where we are. So if we're doing this in, what should we do this in? Whoops, it's gone now. Let's do this in centimetres. So it's about 6 centimetres that way. Okay, so it's a very sweet little cutter. Now I'm going to actually run some videos for you now so you can see how I've iced these in preparation for this cake. While these videos are running, I will get everything ready to go for icing the cake. So let me make sure I press the right button. Hopefully these are in the right order because I shall start laughing if they're not. So today we're going to be flooding the strawberries. So I've got some ordinary royal icing in here. I'm going to take hold of some Renshaw's red. So let's pop that in there first. So that's that one. And then we're going to take hold of a little bit of water, and I'm just going to add a little bit in. Hope I've not put too much in. We'll find out in a minute, won't we? And then what we'll do is we will combine those two together. Messed everywhere. Right. Let it clear up as we go. Let's carry on. Okay, so we're going to make flooding consistency. Flooding consistency icing is normally approximately 15 seconds. So we're nowhere near that yet. So we're going to add some more water to it. I'm going to put that underneath it so I don't end up spilling it. So I'll pop a little bit more in. So we're going to be flooding these cookies. Now there is a new royal icing video out showing you how to do this with my new flour cookies. I'm showing you the strawberry one today to give you an idea of what I teach on that course. So give that a really good mix. So once we've gone so far with it, we'll do a little test and we'll see how it's going in terms of flooding. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the palette knife through the mix, and we're going to wait for it to settle. Now if it settles completely, then we know that the mixture is ready. So all I'm going to do is take hold of my palette knife and pull it through and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's pretty much there. Tiny bit more. And I think we have got what we're looking for. So I'm just going to dip my palette knife into the water rather than pour any more in. Otherwise I'll end up putting too much in. So these cookies are vanilla cookies. They're made using Kelly's recipe, again, which you will find on the website. And obviously our little strawberry cutter. So let's check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, happy with that. And we'll get this transferred over to a piping bag. I'm going to put my nozzle in now. So I've got my adapter going into my bag. I've got piping nozzle Wilton 2 actually, which is the equivalent of like a PME 3. That's fine. I've got a mug here. I'm just going to pop that in there like that. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to put the icing in than me trying to hold the bag. And then we're going to take hold of this and we're just going to tip that into the piping bag like so. So that's then ready to go. And that as well, as I'm spilling it everywhere today. And then we're going to pick this up like that, bring that forward, and then we're going to start doing our piping. So what we'll do, we've got our cookies here. There's a line there, you can see the top of the cookie. You're going to need a scriber, and you're also going to need these, which are Kelly's white sprinkles or white pearls or glimmer thousands and hundreds and thousands, something like that, all available on the website. So we're going to just take our nozzle and we're going to go around the outside edge. We're going to just come back a little bit from the edge. Now you don't have to use a nozzle if you don't want to, but I do like a nozzle because I do feel like I've got more control over what's happening. So that's why I use them. And then we're going to go backwards and forwards like so. Keep the nozzle fairly close to the cookie if you can, and just work in an order. that, so backwards and forwards. Now the cake design I'm going to do today, I'm going to use 5, so I'm going to do all 5 in a second. Just do one for the camera, and the rest I'll do off camera. And then because they're royal icing, I'm going to then let them dry. I'm going to do the red first, let them dry, and then come back and do the green. So I'm just going to take my scriber and I'm going to move my icing right to the edge of the cookie. So I can just swirl it round like so. Bring it right out to the edge. I turn that round a little bit and just move it round like so. So just go round in circles until you get where you want it to be. Okay, like so. Then once that's done, you can take some of these little white pearls and you can just put those on top, and they look like strawberry seeds. They're really good, really instant, really quick, and you've instantly got a little strawberry here. And then we'll leave that to dry. Now I could put this in the oven. Now if I put it in the oven, I would put it in on a very low setting, and I'd probably put it in there for about maybe half an hour to an hour, just to let the red set. Or I can leave them overnight and then I can pipe the leaves in the following day. It's entirely up to you, depends kind of how much time you've got. Okay, right, so we've done that part. Now we're going to do the leaves on here. I just stitched myself up at the last minute and got green everywhere, but anyway, I'm sorted now. Right, okay, let's go down and have a look at these. So these are the ones that I made yesterday because I need them to be dry. So if you do anything in royal icing, it does need to be dry the day before. So I'm going to just show you how to put the leaves on here. So we're going to use the nozzle here, which is ST51. It's a PME nozzle. Okay, it is on the website somewhere. There it is, ST51. And then what we're going to do, just move that out there. We're just going to we're just going to pipe the leaves. So we're just going to turn our nozzle, hold it against here, and just literally squidge it like that. There we go. So we want this icing fairly stiff so that it's going to remain in shape. There we go. Like that. Now for my cake, I'm only going to be using about 5 or so, nothing too drastic. There we go. Like so. So they're very pretty and very easy to make. Because they're not huge, they're going to look really nice on this cake that we're going to do in a second. So the colour for the strawberry leaves is Colour Splash Leaf, which I know that lots of you know I use all the time because it's one of my favourite colours. And that's what we've done there. So I'm going to leave these to dry. These were done yesterday. This one I've just done now because I wanted to make sure that when I'm picking these up and putting them on the cake, I'm not dropping them everywhere, because otherwise I'd have bits of green falling off. I don't really want that. So I'm going to put those back over there for the moment, and we're going to get the cake covered. So we're going to do that next. So I have got here, let's bring that in. I've got here a small cake. There's only my aunt and my uncle. Having said that, the entire family are descending on them later, so they may need a bit more. So it's a 6" by 3" cake, so it's not huge. I'm going to do the board and everything in one go. Now I've got here some Colour Splash Pink that's gone into this sugar paste here. So I'm just going to give that a quick knead through, because I think a hint of green's probably gone in there as well. There's green's gone everywhere. Let's tuck that under. Now I've already painted my ganached cake with water, so I've already gone over it with some water. If you want to know how to ganache cakes, or the way I do it, it's all on the Teaching School. So if you want to find that out, then do please go to the Teaching School and join, and then you'll be able to work that out. Right, so we're just going to roll out a circle. If we get any air bubbles, we'll deal with those as we go along. I've only got one overhead camera today, so I'm going to have to move things around a little bit in some sort of hope of being able to show you as much as I can. So we'll go round again. So we've got a little bit of an air bubble appearing, so we will get rid of that. Now you can either use a scriber or you can use something like acupuncture needles, which Donna has converted me to. So I'll just get rid of those and continue. So I'm going to go over the whole thing in one go. So this cake theme is going to be red and pink, because I do like that kind of colour combination. I do think that is well worth it. Now if I take this cake and put it over the top, you can see that I've near enough done it. I think I've near enough got there already. So I'm going to take hold of one of these. Now these are called smedgers, and I do use these all the time. They are excellent for being able to ice your cake and board at the same time. As far as I'm concerned, these are crucial kit, nothing else. So brilliant. So we're going to go round and round. We're going to smooth out the icing first before we put it over the cake. So if there's any sort of friction there and you find that it's sticking, you can just sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar on and go over. You don't want to put too much icing sugar down because it can work against you otherwise, and it's a real pain. Okay, so round we go till it's nice and smooth. I'm going to take my rolling pin. Whoops, so I've got a wire that's attached to me. Pop that round there. Bring my cake in. And I'm going to lift it and put it over the top like that. So all done in one go, like so. Right, I'm going to just sit down a second. I'm just going to take that off the screen for a minute just so you can see. Bring that forward a bit. And then we'll start at the top. We're going to go round. I think this is going to be a surprise cake, this. I can't even remember what's in it. That was only yesterday. Oh dear. Right, and then we're just going to work this round. I got on there. Let's get that off. Oops. Let's take that off. Something's jumped onto here. There we go. It's better. See, picking up something from somewhere. Let me just remove that again. Sugar paste is like a magnet sometimes. Right, there we go. That's better. If your hands are sticky, this weather this time of year starts to get incredibly uncomfortable. Get some icing sugar out, get it on your hands. Try and help yourself there a little bit. So I'm just going to take it down the side like so, and I'm going to put it out so it goes on there. I'm just thinking, why is this so difficult? Because I haven't put my turntable on, that's why. Right, let me get that. Let's put a turntable underneath. That'll make my life a little bit easier. There we go, that's better. So just ease this down gently. Amazing what a difference a turntable can make. We've got a couple of PME turntables in stock. These are the low level ones. The reason I use this one on my lives is to get it under the camera. I do use the other one, the PME tilting turntable, quite a bit. Anyone who's attempting royal icing needs that other turntable. Okay, so we've got it all the way down to the bottom, like so. So I've gone for like a pale pastel pink colour. And then what I'm going to do is take hold of my smedger. Make sure it's clean for a start, because that's always a game. And then I'm going to go round like so. This will then do the board and the cake at the same time. That's what we want. So it's smoothing the side of the cake and pushing the sugar paste back towards the cake so that everything is done in one. So this is a real time-saving gadget, this, if you like your boards and your cakes covered, which I do. I'm going to go around there a little bit. You can always turn it as well. And always use the heel of your hand, that's quite good. There's also a sharp top edger, which is very good for this kind of thing. I'm not going to use it today because I don't want it on this design, but a sharp top edger is good for tidying up the edges as well. Let's go around like that. So this has done an excellent job of pushing everything back. This is one of these things that if you buy one, please persist with it, because I now wouldn't use anything else. I have completely and utterly sussed this, and it's so easy to do, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. So you are going to have to persist with it a little bit. Right, I'm just going to use my plastic side scraper. I'm just going to find the edge of this cake board, which I've got. I'm just going to go round and chop that off. There we go. So I'm not using a knife, I'm using a plastic side scraper, which does far less damage than a knife and is safer as well. There we go. Nearly there. There. Okay. All done. In one. Do you know that same bit I keep taking off my cakes keeps reappearing? I'm going to do it again now. There it is. It's like a little black speck. Come on. Mucking me about. There we go. So do persist with these smedges if you get one, because they are brilliant. And if you think about it, if you're covering your cake board in one go, then you have not got the paste underneath your cake. So it's going to save you some money long term as well, because you're not going to be covering your boards in one. You're going to be doing it with your cake in position. You do need to make sure you've actually glued your cake down. If you haven't glued your cake down, it's going to move, and then it's going to be really tricky. And when I say glue it down, I just mean like use a bit of royal icing or a bit of ganache or something like that. I'm just trimming it down a tiny bit further because it's quite thick on one side. And my fingernails are not helping today, even though I don't have any. I've managed to hook the side of the cake as well. I'm doing well here. You can tell I haven't done a live for a week or so, dearie me. Right. Okay. We'll put something over that, be fine. Let's go round. Might help if I had the right side. And we'll just trim this up once more, and then we will start looking at the decorating. So I want to do a red and pink theme. So we have, Kelly's got new sprinkles out called red and pink, red, pink and white. We're moving away from Jubilee colours now. We've done the red, white and blue. Now we're going to red and pink. So we have got these ones here. So these are the red and pink ones I'm showing you on the screen now. Now we've also got these ones, which are the Candy Floss hearts. Now these ones are short coded, and when I mean short coded, they are the end of July. Now coding or sell by dates, best befores, mean that we have to sell something by a certain date. That doesn't mean to say that it's then going to immediately go mouldy the following day, because it doesn't work like that. So these will be fine. They are just literally sugar. So if you do want to do these and extend the use of these a bit, then as long as you keep the lid on them, they will be fine. These are the new ones. So these are the red and pink ones, and these are the Candy Floss hearts that are on half price at the moment. There's a few pots left, not that many to be perfectly honest. So if you do want to take advantage of that, then go over and have a look at them. Also, the pastel balls are also on half price, again short coded. I think there might be August, those ones. We're just having a little clear out of just anything that's approaching its sell by date. So if you see anything that's on offer like that, it's these ones and these ones, so the little balls that are in there as well, which are lovely. So do have a look at that. Okay, right, let's put those there. So we are going to do some bits around the outside edge of this cake as well. Not that I have planned it that well, but I'm going to. I'm also going to just do a little mini plaque in the middle, which I think I'll just cut out in white. Let's not make life too complicated. So I'm just going to get some white sugar paste now. Just a little bit. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to cut out a very small 4-inch disc, which I have actually got behind me somewhere. Where have I put it? There it is. All right. And I'm just going to pop her name on there. You can see I've already put it in there. Well, I call her Auntie. I mean, her name is Barbara, but Barbara's too long for this, so she's Auntie today. I normally call her Auntie anyway, so she won't think that's weird. I'll go up there. Right, and just grab another rolling pin. Get the small one out. So we'll go for white now, so we'll go for a contrast, and we'll just get this rolled out. A little bit of icing sugar under that. I like plaques that are a little bit higher than the cake, because I just think it looks nicer. Everything just sits better when it's like that. So a lot of this design is on the top of the cake. We have got the sprinkles to go down the side. Do you know, whatever that bit of black speck is, it's haunting me this morning. It's back again. I don't know, honestly. Right, there we go. Right, Kelly's off, so thank you, Kelly. I'll talk to you later. I know she's got to go out, so that's fine, and we will carry on. Right, now I want to cut round this, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to do this on the pink board, so I'm going to move this to the green one. Put that on there. I'm just going to move that up a little bit. Am I on screen? Yes, I am. There we go. I've got my camera set quite a long way away from me today, so I'm feel like I need to grow my arms. So I'm just going to cut round this circle here. It's just a cake board, a 4-inch round cake board with a sharp knife, like so. Take that out, and then I'm going to lift that up. There it is. Got my little circle. I don't want to make it not a circle, so I'm not going to fiddle with it too much. And we're just going to pop that on top of the cake. And we will glue that down with a bit of water. So I'm just going to take hold of a little bit of water, pop that into the centre there. And before I do that though, first of all I'm going to make sure I can move it, which I can brilliantly. I'm going to just put her name on it, which we are going to paint. Actually, yes, we'll do that before we put it on the cake and make life easier. So we're going to put Auntie on the cake. Now this just about fits. I've got to be honest, it's tight, but it fits. So we're going to line them all up. I've actually used the V on this. We don't sell these, so please don't go looking for them on our site because we don't sell them. They are sweet stamps, and we are not selling these. So you can use any lettering though, it doesn't really matter, does it, to be honest. But I'm going to line them all up before I press them down, because I think once I've pressed them down, if I press them down in the wrong place, I'm going to have a problem. So I'm just going to press these down like so. Let's move that one back a bit. There we go. Okay, they're all done. Let's take those out. Now you won't be able to see these particularly well on camera, but you will when I paint them in a second. Got them all fingers and thumbs today. I think it's because it's coming near lunchtime. You're sitting there eating your lunch. I'm not. I wish I was. Maybe that's why I'm making silly mistakes. There we go. Okay, so we've got Auntie written on there, so that's okay. So what we'll do is we'll paint that before we put that onto the cake. So let's move those bits and pieces out of the way. Bring in the lovely cocoa butter, because that's what we're all about here. We love a bit of cocoa butter. So we bring our palette in. So cocoa butter, just like what I've done with the tiger. So that's something that you're going to be able to paint with. Let's move it up there so it comes in onto screen. There we go. And we'll just move our tea light down in the middle there. So that's a chrome food warmer. Now we don't sell these. These are on Amazon. We have metal paint palettes which we sell. They are also part of the cocoa butter cake painting kit. So if you fancy an actual kit to have a go with, we do those as well. And then I'm going to do a little bit of an effect on this cake today as well, using a couple of different brushes, because I really want to get that red in there today. Make sure it really stands out, but also I'd quite like some shades of pink as well. So let me just find which one do I want. I was going to use, because this is the one we've got. No, it's not that one. Shimmer pink. You can hear me rummaging in the background. So I'm definitely rummaging at the moment. Not that one. Right, let me just, oh, that's it. There it is. I found it. So we're going to be using red. So we use Sugar Flare Red, and we're going to be using, whoop, put that in there, Whisper Pink, which is a Wonder Dust, which we have on our site as well. And we're going to be using cocoa butter, so we're going to pop that on there now. Now the metal paint palette will start getting hot, and that's where we can start putting in our cocoa butter. That's where it starts melting. And my metal paint palette is still very glittery from the Jubilee weekend. You can still hints of silver. It's like ingrained in there at the moment. But yes, it's still going. Well, I'm just going to move those things up there and out way a little bit. I think we can see better now, can't we? There we go. All right. So we have lots of paint brushes that we use for our cake painting, and they are all numbered. So we sell those individually. So you can buy a paintbrush on its own. You can buy them as a set of 5. So we have cake painting brushes as a set of 5. And we have them in the cocoa butter cake painting kits as well. So they're all numbered, if you can see there. Look, it says number 1 on there. And that's how we deal with teaching you when we do our cake painting. So we'll refer to the brushes and say, pick up brush number 1, pick up brush number 2, and then you know you've got the right brush in your hand. So we do a nice little set of brushes together. We also have other brushes that we do use. We have this one, which we're going to use today, which is a flat 2. This is another brush that we use quite a bit, and we're going to use that for an effect on the side of the cake today as well. So flat 2 is another brush that we use to cover kind of large surface areas and any other sort of different effects that we want to do as well. So for this, I'm literally got paintbrush number 1. I'm going to dip it into the cocoa butter. I'm going to grab a bit of red, and I'm just going to make up a little bit of a paint on here. I'm going to see how red this is coming out. That sounds a bit strange, but I am going to see how dark it is before I put it on there. Now that's actually quite dark. I'm not sure I want it as dark as that, so I'm going to just put a little bit of white in. So again, white dusting colour. I've got a little bit there. Just put in there on my scoop. Got the most enormous pot of it ever, so I need a scoop. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the white, and it just brightens the colour up a little bit, so it's not quite so dark. I don't want it to be that dark. I'd like it to be a nice strawberry red, to be honest, to match my strawberries, because it's all going to go together on the same cake. Right, okay, we turn that around a little bit, and then what we'll do is we will just paint these letters. So the thicker the paint, the better the coverage. So if your paint is very runny, you're not going to get very good coverage. If you thicken your paint up a little bit, which means adding more dust and less cocoa butter, you will get a much better and thicker paint. So we're going to go round like so. So we're doing a red, pink and white theme today for this cake, because I wanted to include my strawberries, which are very important. So we've already had a look at the video for that. So if you've joined us late and you've realised that you've missed bits, then do please go back and watch it once it's finished. Can't do it while we're live, but once we're finished, you'll be able to go back and watch the video there. So the strawberry cookie cutter is now available. We've got lots in stock of that one, so we've had a big delivery of that. So if you fancy it, don't forget it's Wimbledon season coming up. So they're a nice little size. They will fit on cupcakes as well. So if you are fancy doing any sort of strawberry themed type things for that session, next thing that's coming up, there's always something, isn't there? But it's Wimbledon coming up next, or Henley Regatta around here, because we have Henley not far away, so that's coming up as well. Now actually this U that I'm doing here is actually the V. I think it's the V on the set, because I can't find my U. I don't know what I've done with it. So I'm going to do this for as quick as I can. I'm not going to spend too long on this. But painting something like this is something you can do in advance. So you don't have to do it actually live like I'm doing it for a start. You can do it in your own time. You can get all these things ready. So you can do your cookies in advance, and you can do your plaque in advance. And then all you've got to do is then just put it together when you've made your cake. So lots of things can be done in advance. You don't have to do everything at the last possible minute. It's much easier to be forward planning, you know. But we say all these things and then realise we've got a cake to do, and then there's a panic, isn't there? Like so. There we go, it's coming on now. So we're just going to use our paints to do her name, or what I call her anyway. I'm going to take a picture of her with this afternoon, so you'll be able to see her with it. She'll find that amusing, I'm sure. I'm just going to split the I and the dot apart. You don't have to, but I just prefer them apart. I think it makes it more obvious, just in case there's any confusion. And then round this bit here. Again, you could spend a lot more time doing this than I'm doing it, so you really could do probably a much better job than me. But time is always against me on these lives, so we just do what we can. I'll probably go back and fiddle around with it once we get it on top of the cake. But we've got the basic bit done now. We know what we're doing, and we can now get that onto our cake. So let's take this, make sure it's moving, which of course it is. Fantastic. Right, I'm just going to, yes, I'm going to move this for a second, because we're going to do some effects with that in a minute. My table is not big enough, Let me put that down there. Hold on. Let's move my sprinkles. There we go. All right. Let's move that across there. That's across there. Bring that in there. We're just going to lift that on. Now, where did I gouge out the side of my nail there? Right. We're not going to put it there. I'll pop that on top there. Just put a little bit of water on there earlier. Let's just check it's central, which it is. That's fine. So white against the pink, you can now see how pink my cake is, because when I was doing it beforehand, it did look quite sort of not very strong, but the minute you put white on there and the red, you can see the difference. It's quite substantially different. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go around the outside edge of this. I've got blue on here now. I've got blue and all sorts of strange colours appearing today. Right, let's go round with my icing. So I have got my royal icing ready somewhere. There it is. And the reason we're going to start in the middle here is because we're then going to put our strawberries on the outside edge and we won't have enough room to do all of this. So we're going to need to do that now. I'm just going to remove that out of the way. So we're going to do the top, then we're going to do the sides. I might have to do some interesting camera work with the sides, but we will make it work. Right, so all I'm going to do is I've got Wilton 18, which is one of my nozzles here. Again, that's available on the website. So I'm going to put the website back up again now I've finished moving things around. Okay, so Wilton 18, and all I'm going to do is just do some very small kind of rosettes. Try not to get my camera completely covered, but anyway, I'm going to just do some small little rosettes going around the outside edge here. I don't particularly want this to take over the whole cake because I need the space to get my strawberries on. So I'm going to go around like so. I love this nozzle. If you haven't got it already, do get one because you use it on absolutely loads of projects. This is also going to keep the plaque in place, so the plaque's not going to go wandering off anywhere. You go half on the cake, half on the plaque, as best you can. Obviously it's more tricky when you get near the writing. But we're kind of working from the top of this cake down. Ooh, okay. Like so. Okay, then we're going to take some of our red and pink sprinkles. Now this is where I always think, uh-oh, here we go, because they're going to go everywhere for sure. I will do my best. So Kelly's made these up. There is a selection in here of some larger ones and some of the little sprinkles as well. So I'm going to just go through and I'm going to put some of the bigger ones in place first. Now you might not be as precious about your sprinkles as I am, but I quite like things to be in places, sort of certainly the bigger ones anyway, and then work out from there. So I'm just going to go round and place my larger pink ones in position first. You might be thinking, what is she doing? But I like things in places, you see. I get a bit fussy when it comes to things like this. So I'm just putting on the little white pearls. These are actually available on their own as well. They're called white glimmer pearls. So if you fancy those on their own, they're available. Okay, like that. And oh, there we go. And another one there. Okay, now we've got the red ones next. So I am going to put some of these red ones on myself. And then I'm going to just pick up the little minis and just sprinkle those on at the end. But I'm just being a bit, just like things in order. A few little ones are coming with me as I pick these little red ones up because they're small. But what you'll find is if you've got 3 different colours, so we've got here red, pink and white, then if you reflect that across the whole cake, then you will find it will pick up throughout the whole cake design. And then when you look at the whole thing, it will look like it's cohesive and it's all meant to be together. So that's the aim of this anyway. Now, I think this is quite a nice cake for anybody, really, to be honest. Now, you could apply the same principle to any of the sprinkles. So if you just get yourself a palette colour, so you think, right, I'm going to do these 3 colours, you could then just apply it the same way. Right, we've done that bit. Now we'll pick up the littlies. Now, if these start running everywhere, which they obviously will, I will push them back towards the royal icing. just going to accept they do this on these lives now, you know, because I've had a few lives where I've been thinking, oh, not sprinkles again. Why do I do this to myself? Because honestly, sprinkles and lives are not something that go very well together. I've got to be honest. This is the sort of thing I do at home and curse. I can't curse on here, see, I'm going to be very quiet. So I'm just going to put them in little patches. But it's a lovely colour scheme, this one, I think. And once we get my strawberries on, I think it will look really pretty when it's all together. She'll be happy anyway. She's not expecting a birthday cake today. So I'll push that in there like that. Now, I've got quite a few on these letters, but I'm going to just move them out. So you can either move them out with a brush or you can just grab them with your sprinkle. But I just don't bother picking them off. I just normally roll them towards the royal icing and let the royal icing pick them up. And then it doesn't matter too much, does it? Go in here. See how pretty that looks? Do you know what, all these kind of sprinkly type things always remind me a little bit of like charm bracelets, you know, when you get like little different beads and charms going together to make a really nice little pattern. I always think of that when I do these. There we go. I'm going to have a little avalanche there. But that's pretty, isn't it? How nice is that? Nice and straightforward. Right, now we're going to do round the bottom here. So this might be where I might disappear off camera a little bit. So I'm going to come back on. I'm going to try and move that forward. Let's see if I can do it like that. How about that? That's better. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same round the base. So we're going to go round. Just do our little swirls at the bottom here. So these get pretty much squashed anyway with the beads. But it's a very simple cake and it's very pretty, which is what I really want. And I'm doing the cake first today. I'm going to do some cookies later on because I want it to set, because well, literally I'm going to go home, eat my lunch, come back and then take it straight up to our house. So I've got to give this an opportunity to be able to sort out. Are the pastel balls 10mm? I think they're 7s. They're actually assorted in size. They're not all the same size. I can't check at the exact moment because I haven't got one in front of me. I did have one in front of me, but I've moved it. But I think they are the bigger ones. They're nice. They are actually chocolate. You're not going to crack your teeth on those. They're all so much better than they used to be. If anybody's sort of the same generation or era as me, remembers the 1970s silver balls, oh my God, they were really hard. So hopefully that's coming out on there. Yes, you can see them. Yeah, you can use tweezers. I think you're going to have a few problems using tweezers getting out the little ones, but yeah, you certainly could use tweezers if you want to. Right, that one's coming off. Okay. Pretty, pretty. Right, let's go back into my pot again. Right, let's go round and put some white ones on first. Whatever's come to the top, I think. That's what we'll use. We'll do all the white ones first. So there's plenty of sizes in here. You're not going to be short of anything particularly. And any little tiny ones you get left over at the end, you can always use those on cupcakes, can't you? We use the little white Perels on everything. I mean, honestly, there hasn't been much we've not used the white Perels on. I think it's getting to the point now where we just go automatically for them. We've actually got a pot that sits on the side because we're just using them continuously now. Right, let's go around and put a few pinky ones on. So nothing ever has to be that complicated. It can just be very straightforward. So these ones here are the red and pink sprinkles. So this is the new sprinkle mix. We've also got a summertime mix, which is sort of lilac-y flowers type thing. Now that would also work really well if you were going to do a cake similar to this. So if you can think about colour schemes, the summertime one, which also has the white Perels in it, will do a really, really pretty different shades, wouldn't it? The springtime mix has more yellows and greens in it, and we've called it springtime mix. I know we're coming into summer now, but do you know what? It's still quite pretty in colour. Right, let's put the red ones in now.
just like those big ones spaced out, and then after that I'm not too fussed really what happens, but just like to at least know I've got a rough, you know what I mean. I know what I mean, even if everybody else doesn't. I know what I'm talking about here. I just want to make sure I've got a fairly even selection. You've escaped. Let's come back here. All right. I say it gives me an opportunity to let this dry before I have to drive it anywhere. I would never drive a cake anywhere normally, having just made one, but I haven't really got much choice because she's decided to go on holiday tomorrow, so I have to get it up there this afternoon. And as this was my first live before I see her, that's the way it's got to be. So there we go. Yeah, I might not put any silver balls on this today. I think the red and pink is very warm and it just looks really pretty, I think. It's a very underrated set of colours together. I know I've done a few red and pinks. We've even got an airbrushing class that's on red and pink. And I just love it. I think it's a really interesting colour combination. One that I'd not really thought about for a while. And now I do. I love it. I'm doing loads of it now. So these ones are on the website. I say they are new design by us. You can't get them anywhere else. We put them together ourselves. And you're running away from me now. Right, so we're coming up to the end of the red ones. Yeah, we're nearly there. And then we'll go around with the little E's, and then that's that part done. And we can put the strawberries in place. And then we can leave that all to dry. Have a little look at the end. And this is the bit where you can literally just take the sprinkles, the little tiny ones, and just pile them up onto the icing, or just push them towards one or the other, whatever works. But you do need to do this when the icing is still wet, so don't go piping your icing off and then go and find something else to do, because when you come back you're going to find this is all set, and then trying to put sprinkles on icing that's dried. Buttercream as well. Buttercream crusts over and it can be an absolute pain if you're trying to then put on sprinkles. So always with buttercream or royal icing, just do it, work at it as you go along, don't leave it. You see now what that's doing is picking up the top and the bottom. I'm throwing stuff everywhere, but I'm not too worried about that. I want to clear that up at the end. They can all go back in there. We're working on the colour scheme really today. That's what we're aiming for here. Right, we're nearly there. Oh, why do I do sprinkles on lives? I don't know. Oh, I've not learnt my lesson, have I? Everyone knows what I mean, really. Right, okay. So our sprinkles, we do try really hard to do our own thing to go with our cakes, because I just think it's really nice to be able to look at a design and go, oh, I want to make that. How do I do it? And then we've given you all the everything you need. Now, look, I've done that cake. There's still absolutely loads left in that pot. So you'd easily be able to do at least another one or a couple of, or a bigger one with this. Look how many's left, and I've done the whole cake. So there's masses and masses of these sprinkles in this pot. So there's plenty to be getting on with there. Now, if you wanted to put some of the little hearts in there as well, so if you wanted to use those, because they're pink as well, I'm just seeing if I've got a pot here, you could incorporate those as well, just putting a few little random hearts in there. We've also got some other ones that are much smaller, considerably smaller. They are there. Now these are on offer. These are coming up to their sell by date. These aren't, but I'm going to hold them up really, really close. There you go. Little tiny ones there, tiny hearts, tiny pink ones there. They're also really lovely as well, so you could put those on as well, but these are half price at the moment, so if you fancy that, then that's a good one to go for. Now I'm just going to put my ribbon on, and then I'm going to put my strawberries in. Any rogue pieces that are running around I will deal with in a second. Mainly, what did I do with my scissors, because I moved those yesterday, which was a silly mistake. Oh no, there they are. That's good. So we'll just put this ribbon on now. So we're going to go red, of course. Nice and bright. And again, just spin that round on your turntable. Is another reason why you need a turntable. It's much easier
than trying to do it any other way. Always leave your ribbon attached to your reel, because then you use exactly the amount that you need. There we go. And then we will take hold of the glue and just put that on the back there like so. There we go. Okay, even that in its own right is really pretty without adding any of the strawberries. And yes, I am going to add the strawberries because that's what I've made for this cake, so she's getting them. Right, okay, I'm going to take that down again for a second so we can see. Let's get our strawberries back. So I'm just going to literally put these on. I've got to make sure I don't pick up the one I just piped, which is that one. Right, okay. Now, how many am I going to do? This is the thing. And all I'm going to do is literally prop these up. So they're going to be sort of sitting like this on top of the cake. So I'm going to pipe, let's do one there, a big blob, basically. And then I'm going to pop that in like so. I'm going to actually push it into the cake a little bit. I'm going to let it see what it does for the moment. It might lean back a bit more. It might need a little bit of extra help. Another thing I can do to help prop that up is I can always use a cocktail stick just to prop it up, but I would need to remove that later on, so you would have to remember. Let's put another one there. Need a bit more, going up a bit higher. There we go. Let's push that in. Hold it. There we go. Where's that one come from? Let's get that out of the way. All right, let's turn that there. Okay, so I'm going to put another one about there. I'm going to keep them all facing me. I'm not going to let them turn into the centre. I'm going to keep them coming towards me. Otherwise, I'm just going to see the back of a cookie, aren't I? And that's not really what I want. Another one there. Let's just hold it still. Press down. You can see why I need this to set before I go wandering off anywhere, because I don't really want that to sort of fall apart. Now this one I'm going to just lay at the front here. I'm not going to have that one standing up, I don't think, or am I? No, laying down looks better. Right, so we'll just put a little one there, like so. There we go, and I'm just going to leave that to dry. So that's it, that's the cake. I'm not going to do anything else with it for the moment. So I'm literally going to pop that out of the way, and I'm going to bring that on at the end, and you'll be able to see exactly what it's set like. I'm going to just keep my beady eye on it to make sure none of them are tipping. The fact I've actually tipped them into the cake means I think they're going to be absolutely fine, but we will just keep an eye on that over the next half an hour or so. So I'm going to move this now. Let's move this cake out of the way. Actually, I'm going to take it with the turntable. There you go. All okay. Let's put that over there. I'm just going to keep my eye on you. Make sure you don't do anything naughty while I'm kind of concentrating on other things, because you never know with things like that. But it's just a fun... I'm going to make sure they're standing. It's just a fun way of using those strawberry cookies to do something a little bit different in terms of a birthday cake. So I'm going to have a mini clear up because I am swamped in, as you can imagine, sprinkles. And then we're going to have a look at a couple of cookies that we've got. So we are doing a cake next week. And before anyone goes, oh no, we are doing a cake next week based on Love Island. Now, we know that some of us don't watch Love Island, but we all know it's about, and we all know that it's quite beach themed, and we also know that there are lots of people that watch it, and some people like birthday cakes in it. So I'm not going to ignore it, I'm going to deal with it. So we're going to be doing some beachy things, and that's how we're going to do that now. I've cleared up a little bit, so that's not too bad. So I don't really want to end up with... I'm going to just give it a quick spray, actually, because it is getting a little bit full of icing sugar. To try and remain organised. Sometimes when you start getting disorganised, it just goes down from there. Now, also going back to that cake with the strawberries on, they are cookies, so people could just pick them off and eat them as biscuits, which is really nice. So it is just something a bit different than having like a great big lump of sugar paste on top of a cake. I'm just going to check they're settling. Which they are. So that's good. Right, if I can clear up. So we're going to look at a few beachy themes. Just a reminder as well that Father's Day is next week. So if anybody is planning on doing any Father's Day things, whether it's you're doing them as treat boxes or whatever it is that you're doing with them, we have got the toppers. They are now in, but you're going to have to be quick with these because it's Monday. We will send them out. It takes a couple of days to get them through the post, and Father's Day is next Sunday, but these toppers are in. So if anybody is making lots and lots of those types of cakes, so if you're selling them or anything like that, the sheets are on the website now. It's quite a nice font, this one, actually. I'm quite pleased with this one. It's very nice and clear. So there we go. So that's on there now if you want to have a go at doing those. We've also got the beer bottle. So don't forget, we've done the beer bottle over the last few weeks. Where's my beer bottle? Here it is. And we made a suggestion to you, well, I made a suggestion to you last week, which I thought actually was a good idea myself, was the beer bottle there, which you can put in a treat box with a pizza slice. And the thing I was trying to explain about using to go on top of the pizza slice was these white chocolate curls. So we all know about these little white chocolate curls. These make excellent little pieces of cheese that you can sprinkle over the top of that pizza. So do look out for those because they are really, really easy to do. And they do actually then taste really nice. So rather than great big lumps of sugar paste. So if you cut yourself out a cookie that's that shape, and if you flood it with the red icing that I've just used on the strawberry, and then take hold of these and sprinkle them over the top, you will get a very attractive pizza. So just think about that. If you wanted to do a pizza slice, you can do that. And then also we have the mug as well. So don't forget, we have the beer mug here as well that you could do as a decoration as well. So if you wanted to do that, then that gives you a set of sort of 3 or 4 different things that you can do connected with Father's Day. We've also got some of the other things that are on the shop. So we have got things like the gardening tools. We have got the plastic mold version of that and the FPC mold as well. Now we are moving towards a slightly different way. I did explain earlier that things are changing of how we're doing our products on Let's Shop. So we are now going to be moving towards a more sellout situation, in the fact that once we've sold something, we are going to remove it from the website and we're going to bring other things into you because it's more interesting for you and for us to keep things moving along rather than keep the same stuff in stock all the time. So if you are seeing something that you think that's amazing, I want to do that, but it might not be till 6 months time, do get it because we are moving things on all the time, particularly with the plastic molds. We're not going to be holding back too much on those. Once we've run through a design with a plastic mold and sold out, that will be it. Because we then want to move on and show you something else. So we don't want to keep hovering around on the same stuff, and we want to try and limit our products so that we don't have so many products that people lose track of exactly what it is that we've done with them. So for the Father's Day ideas as well, there is also sports balls, which I think we're quite low on now as well, which golf balls was another one. We had a golf bag, but we have now sold out of the golf bag, so we're not getting that one back in, I'm afraid, at the moment. So the golf bag has now sold out. What was the other one I wrote down? I did write a list somewhere. I left that list at home. So I had this wonderful idea of sitting in bed writing down things to remember for Let's Shop, and then when I arrived here this morning, I realised that that list is still there, not here with me. It's not very helpful. So yeah, there are other things that you can do, but also, and I always say this as well, you can use these things for other projects. You don't just have to use them for Father's Day. There are many other items, like especially the gardening tools, the toolkit, that's the one I was thinking of, the toolkit mold this time of year. The gardening one particularly is brilliant for that. We also have flower pot molds, so we have large and small flower pot molds as well, chocolate ones that you can make all sorts of different gardening type scenes for anybody. Again, doesn't have to be for Father's Day. There are many people who love their gardens that would enjoy using things like that. So there are lots and lots of things on the website at the moment connected with Father's Day, but not only that, but also for lots of birthdays as well. That beer mug could be used for Barney Rubble's face. Okay, I'll have to think about that one. We are also looking at things like cookie flips. So when we say a cookie flip, that means we're thinking about how else we can use the same cookie cutter. So if you've already bought a cookie cutter from us, we like to show you a different way that you can use it. We're going to try and do that in just a second with one of our heart cookie cutters. And then we're going to show you a design on a swimsuit one as well. So again, it's lovely beach season. So if you're doing perhaps a cake that's very tropical looking, that kind of thing, then you have got the option to do that as well. So we're going to show you that in just a second. Just going back to the molds for a second, the number one dad mold is also on Let's Shop, as is the swirl one that's there and the candy ones. I always look at these, think of my dad because he likes hazelnut swirls, and I obviously have to eat those because Kelly can't eat nuts, so I have to intervene there. But that number one dab mold is there again. I think there's only about 3 or 4 of those left, so once they're gone, that's it. So please take note that we are going into a situation now where we would rather move forward and show you different things than keep hovering over the same stuff, because I think that is just so much more interesting for all of us. But we are also again showing you how to do different things with different products, which is what we want as well. Let's have a look. Let's do the swimsuit first, because then I won't get in such a muddle. So we're going to have a look at our swimsuit cookie cutter. So let me put that down there so you can have a little look at it. There it is. Moving up a bit. I'm going to show you a design, and a really simple design that you can do. Now you could make these with the kids, so perhaps summer holidays are coming and you're thinking, gosh, what am I going to do with them? They could make their own swimsuit cookies. That would be a brilliant activity for them. All you would need to do is make a load of cookies, which again you could do with them, and then you can give them some sugar paste and create their own swimsuits. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to grab hold a little bit of sugar paste, and I'm going to actually paint one for you. I'm going to show you a nice interesting design that you could paint, but there's lots of different things you could do with this. So you could just cut them out, you could paint them, you can do lots of sort of sugar flowers, those kinds of things. You could emboss them with patchwork cutters. So we've done quite a lot of work on patchwork cutters. So if you have the blossom flower ones, for example, that would work really well. So if you wanted to sort of just take hold of it and put some little flowers all over your swimsuit, you could do that. Let's take hold of this and just put a little bit of icing sugar down just so it doesn't stick. And we'll just roll this out. It's a nice size cutter, this one. A generous size. Now you could turn this into a bikini and all sorts of other bits and pieces, but I am going to keep it nice and straightforward this morning and just show you what you could do as a swimsuit design. And we'll stick with our red and pink theme. So I've just turned around, look at my cake. Yeah, everything is setting beautifully. I'm very pleased with myself, you know. Right, okay, so I'm going to take hold of the cookie cutter and going to press it down, give it a little wiggle, because then that cuts the edges for you. All right, lift that out. There we go. Now I'm just going to get a little pot, put some royal icing in, because what we need to do is we need to have a little bit of royal icing to, except I can't find a small pot, so I have a large pot instead, to stick our cookie or our sugar paste to our cookie. So if we don't use too much, so if we put a little bit of royal icing in there and then a tiny bit of water, we can make ourselves a bit of a glue. If we make it really wet, then the cookie will soften, because we often get comments about this, but if you don't make this too wet, then it won't soften the cookie completely. You can use your sprinkles on these as well. That would be good, wouldn't it? Nice sparkly swimsuit. Maybe that's where we're going with this. Right, okay, so let's do this. These are good fun to make, I think. Very good fun to make. I've just got to find a paintbrush that I like. Let's see what we've got. That one will be okay. No, I don't want that one. So I'm just trying to find what we've done with them all. Oh, there they are. Right, let's move over here. Everything's vanished. Again, it's typical. I've not done a live, you see, for a while. Right, okay, so we'll just take hold of a little bit of the royal icing and we'll just paint this on. You can use piping gel as well for sticking on cookies, but for me,
I like to know it's not going to move, and so royal icing is my definite go-to. But you can use piping gel if you particularly want to. It's just that piping gel will never set, so it will always move. It will sort of crust over, but it won't set like royal icing does. So we're going to go one piece here, pop that on. There it is, like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take hold of one of these, which is like a Dresden tool, and then we're going to take hold of it and we're going to, let me just turn it sideways a little bit, we're going to pull this in like so into the middle. So we're going to go across. Okay, and we're going to turn it and we're going to do the same on this side. So we're going to give the bikini, not the bikini, the one piece a little bit more shape. How are we doing? Not too bad. Tiny bit out, but I am doing this at a funny angle, so that's allowed. Okay, so you've got something that looks like that. And then what you can do is you can turn this round and then we can paint it. So now if you're going to do a sort of shaded paint look, then what we would need to do is we'll take hold of a thicker brush than we would normally use. So something like paintbrush number 3. And I've got 2 of these. I'm going to use both of them because it's going to make life a little bit easier for me. And I'm going to bring my cocoa butter in. Like so. I've got my red, which is what I'm going to do for this, and also I'm going to use my pink, which I got out earlier, didn't I? So this is Whisper Pink. So we're going to do a blend. We're going to do it, we're going to look like her swimsuit sort of all blended. Well, that's the idea anyway. So we're going to take hold of some colour. Just clean my brush out here a minute, because I've just been using gold. Actually, do you know what? Gold might look better. I might do gold actually. Let's do gold and pink. I'm changing my mind a little bit here. We're going to do bright gold and pink. Again, this is another of the Wonder Dusts. It's on the website. So we have Regal Purple, we have bright gold, we have fine silver, and we have Whisper Pink. And then we have a set of 7 Wonder Dusts together as well that we use for the Imperial Crown. But it's quite a nice way of buying the Wonder Dusts if you fancy more than one. Well, I'm just going to clean this brush out as well, make sure we've got everything ready. So we're going to mix this up, but we're going to make this a little bit wetter than we would normally do, which means we're going to add in more cocoa butter. So it's going to be quite runny. We'll start with the gold. So we're going to go gold to pink, I think. Let's try that. So we're going to start at the bottom here, and we're just going to run this up. There's some very nice swimsuits out there, actually. If you go on the Google and have a look, there's a huge amount of choice. So you can have an absolute field day with this, designing your own swimsuits. So many you can choose from. Let's take it up to about sort of that point there, I think. Then what we'll do, I'm going to just switch brushes. I've got my royal icing brush stuck to my elbow. I was wondering what that was. And we'll just go to the other one and we'll just pick up some of this Whisper Pink colour. And then we'll blend this up this way. So we'll blend these two together. So we've got a sort of a pink to gold swimsuit. Maybe I'll be a swimsuit designer. Maybe that's what I need to be doing. Okay. So you could blend any colours you like. So you can use luster colours, you can use matte colours. Oh, I think I picked up the gold. I did by accident. That's okay. We'll interpret that in a different way. Let's grab a bit more pink, as I accidentally picked up the wrong colour then. There we go. Build it up a bit more. Now with cocoa butter it builds, so you need to take a bit of time to let the colours build up.
How are we doing? Let's turn that round.
I'm going to go back down to the gold a little bit. I'm going to come back down here. It's actually quite nice because it's going over the top of those lines that we made, and it's sort of really highlighting those. But you could put a bow there. So if you fancied perhaps a swimsuit with a bow on it, there's some little bows on Tiny Decorations, which I'll find in a second. There's also a bow mold, which has got loads of bows on it. And again, these are ones that I use all the time. So let's put a featured bow on this.
Let's do that.
Now, where are we? Tiny Decorations, I got you out.
That doesn't mean anything, so I probably put it somewhere. Hold on.
Yeah, no, here it is.
So we can pick a bow from here. So we were using our modelling or flour paste for this, not sugar paste because it gets stuck in the mould. So let's do that little one in the middle. There's also little hearts. I love this mould. I'm sorry, I'm off screen at the moment. This mould is brilliant for doing little tiny decorations. That's why it's called Tiny Decorations. But it's really good for picking out little things. There's little cherries, little roses, little flowers, little bows. That's why we're going to do the bow. So you're just going to take hold of this, roll yourself out a little bit of flour paste, pop that in there, press it down. And if you've got too much in there, it doesn't matter because we're going to use a palette knife, ideally, not a sharp knife. And we're just going to take that off, like so, both ways. Make sure it's gone in. I don't think I've quite got it all. There we go. I'm then going to just tip that out, put my finger in there, make sure that it's then going to come out like that, and it will give me the prettiest little bow ever. I would never be able to make that without using something like that. And then I could pop that there, look, on my swimsuit. In fact, that's not too big. That's probably ideal because I don't think we'd want to draw too much attention to that part. So let's pop that on there. So let's put a little, actually I might use the, there we go, that's better. Little bit of royal icing. Pop that on, like so. And we can also use our sprinkles. So we could use the little white Perels, which of course we use for everything because we love them. Let's get some white Perels. And you could use those to do some of the design round there as well. So if I get hold of a different paintbrush, let's find one that's a little bit smaller. I can take hold of some of the royal icing, and I can just pop that a little bit. There's too much on there. Let's take that off a bit. So a little bit round here. Take hold of my sprinkles, and I just pop those on. So I've got a bit of detail around my bow. Because my sugar paste is still soft, I can actually press those in as well. So that stops those falling off. I'm going to show you another swimsuit I did earlier when I've done this one, so you can get the general idea of the kind of designs you can do. So this is a fun activity if you're thinking in terms of like kids for the summer, or you're making boxes, perhaps you're going on holiday, you can't believe it, you know, finally after all this time we're actually going on holiday. You're so excited you're going to make cookies about it and take them with you. You could take those as well. Again, just pop those on there. So I always think with something like that, it just becomes about the detail and you get a bit sort of carried away with everything. Well, I do anyway. The other thing you could do this as well, if I turn this around, if you wanted to change the neckline, for example, and you wanted to make it V-neck, you could just come along with a knife and just remove a section as well. So if you wanted to change the way this looks, there's no reason why you can't just come in here and take a part of it out. So if you think, oh, I'd actually prefer it to be a little bit more like that, perhaps it matches the swimsuit that you've got, you can remove a section like so, like that. And again, you could also take hold of this here and just bring that down there and just tidy it up, so you can use your tools then there to do that. And that gives you a really sweet, simple, straightforward
Let's bring that down there. Simple, straightforward cookie without being too complicated from this one here. Now I've done one other already. Where did I put that? It was on my tray. There it is. I've done a pink and red version. That's why I didn't do pink and red earlier. And the other thing I did with this one is I added some finishing sparkle, so you can see the difference between the two there. So this one I did was red to pink. This one I've done is gold to pink, and I've used finishing sparkle on this one here as well, just to really bling it up a little bit. But I could put detail on here. Perhaps I could put a rose on here if I want to. There's all sorts of different things you can do with this cookie cutter, so it's very versatile in terms of doing different swimsuit designs. Now if you wanted to do a bikini, you would cut out the middle section, so you would just have that section there and that section there. You could trim the straps down, you could put it onto flesh coloured paste, whatever flesh colour you're picking, and then pop your bikini over the top that way. So you can turn this into a bikini as well. So there's lots of different things that you can actually do with this particular cutter in terms of designs. You can have a little competition and you can all design a swimsuit. See what you come up with. That's always quite quite interesting to do. So there you go. So that's that there. Now the other one that I was going to do was the beach one, and that was using the heart cookie cutter. So there's our heart cookie cutter here, and you can turn this into a beach. So I'm going to show you that one, and you can use the FPC sugar paste. I'm going to move things up. I'm going to tip my camera a second. My camera's tipping backwards today, and that's why I'm in the wrong position the whole time, because I'm thinking, why is that not on the screen? There it is. So I was looking at this earlier thinking, why is it so far back? So we're going to use the FPC flip-flop mould, which we did have a very brief look at last week. We're going to have a better look at it this week. So that's it there. And you can put some flip-flops on here if you want to, and turn this into a little bit of a beach. So we're going to do that next, and we're going to use some sugar paste to do that. So we're going to just paint our, I'm going to put a bit more water in there actually, because I could do with it being a tiny bit more runny than it currently is. So let me just put an extra drip of water in there. Okay, that's better. Otherwise it's not moving. Yeah, so if you're doing a beach themed cake, anything like swimsuits and stuff, very popular. I'm going to bring those down a little bit now. I'm actually on that part of the screen rather than the part I thought I was on. There we go. Yeah, so if you fancy doing beach type things, we've also got lolly cookie cutters. So we have, if you want to do little lollies, we've got those as well. They do come in a set of 3. And then we've got the ones that we used for the ice cream van cake the other week, which are the plastic moulds that are lollies, one of which I turned into a fab by using sprinkles and painting. That was fun. I do like that one. Okay, so this one here, what we can do, we'll grab a bit of sugar paste. This is where I should have been more prepared, but I wasn't, because I was running through the door at the last minute. So we're going to have to bear with me for a second while I just find what I'm looking for. I'm just going to leap across to the other side of the room. What am I looking for? Okay, we'll do it a different way. It's fine. We will do it a different way. We will do the beach with our blue, and we will do our sugar as our base. That'll be fine. Okay, let's move that up there a little bit. Right. Gold stars. You should have, anyone who did that, anyone who did the crown cake gets a massive gold star, I tell you, because that was hard. Very pleased with that. So I've got some blue here, and I've just added some white to it, so it's gone a little bit streaky, which is what I want. I don't want it to be matte. I want it to look a bit like the sea. So I'm going to roll this out. Like so. There we go. I'll take our heart cookie cutter. So we have these in sets of 2. So these heart cookie cutters are available. Let's give it a little wiggle. There we go. And then we're going to pick that up and pop that on there like so. Okay, let's get rid of that. Right, next thing we're going to do is we will make our flip-flops. So we will take hold of some of the paste. Yeah. We'll do pink again. Let's do more pink because Kelly's not here. She can't tell me off. If Kelly was here, I wouldn't be allowed to do pink, you see. She'd be looking at me now going, why? Give that a mix. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll go for Colour Splash Pink. I've got to be careful of this because it's some other colours leaked on it, so I'm getting covered in it every time I pick it up. I don't know if anyone else has this problem with gels, but they do leak. Right. Okay, there we go. Let's make this a hot pink colour. So I'm going to just take a tiny bit out for the flower. We'll have that a little bit darker. So this is Colour Splash Pink, which is now going to dye my hands hot pink colour. That's okay. That will be for the base of our flip-flop. So when you add these in, it does make it quite sticky. Can you hear it? It's sort of sticking to my hands a little bit. So we'll just take hold of some icing sugar and we'll just roll it in the icing sugar just to try and help us not get it stuck in there. Stuck on me. And then what we'll do is we'll actually do a little white flower in the flip-flop. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second, because there is, if I lift this up, you'll see there's a little flower in there. So we can do this as a separate piece of paste. What I don't want to do though is get pink all over it, so I'm hoping I've not got too much pink on my hands. And then I'm going to pop that in. Before I do that, I'm just going to roll it in this icing sugar, and then I'm going to press it down so it fills that space where the flower is. So I'm not going to fill any more than that. Can you see? So I've literally just filled that space there. And then we'll take hold of this one. So we do have flip-flops in stock. We don't have huge numbers of them. So if you do want one of these, again, just place your order as soon as you can. If you place more than one order over the weekend up to Monday, 10 o'clock, then we will combine the postage. Okay, so if you think, oh, I want that, and you order it, and then you see something else and you order that as well, that's fine. We will combine the postage for you. So we pop those two in there like so. I'm going to need a tiny bit of water. It's typical, I got rid of the water today and now I need it. Let's go back and pick that up. Right, so I didn't think I'd need so much water today, but I was wrong. So I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of water and I'm just going to pop that on the back. Too much on there. On the back of that little flower there. Just going to dab that so it's not too much. I just want it to be tacky. Okay, and then we'll take hold of this. Now this has had a minute or two to just kind of calm down since I've been grabbing it. I'm just going to roll it like that. Now there's little straps on there as well. We're going to ignore those. We're not going to focus on doing those. You can sit there trying to force bits of sugar paste in there, but it takes too long. So there's a much easier way to do it. So we'll deal with it like that. So we're going to take hold of this. We're going to press it down like so. Make sure it's all gone into the mould. The fact that went in one go is a fluke. That was not planned. Now let's do the other one. Okay, maybe a tiny bit more. I judged that, I don't know how. It doesn't normally happen like this. Okay, again, pop that in, press it down. Oh, that's annoying. I've done it a second time as well. Been in cake decorating for too many years, that's what it is. Right, so press that down and then hopefully the flower will stick to the flip-flop. That's the idea with this. So we don't have to like that. So there we go. Right, fingers crossed. Let's go that way. Moment of truth. Come on. There we go. Look at that. How cool is that? I love it. Okay, so we have a little flip-flop on there. for our feature on our cookie. I did do these on another cake the other week, so if you want to use them on cakes, cupcakes, they're really good cupcake size as well. Oh yes, look at that. How lovely is that? You can't go wrong with that, can you? That looks so sweet. It is so sweet. So the idea was to put them onto this cookie. Now you can, if you've got if you want to paint those straps, you can do that. Have I still got my cocoa butter on? Yes, I have, so that's good. So what I'll do is I'll just grab some black and then we can just paint the little straps so we can see those, so they'll stand out a little bit more. So you can do any colour scheme that you like, it doesn't really matter, whatever you fancy. I'll take them off there while we're just fiddling around, sorting these out. And we'll just grab a brush. So let's go down a size. Let's go down to 0 rather than paintbrush 1, because we want to have it a little bit thinner to make life a little bit easier for ourselves. So again, that's where we go back on our paintbrushes, and then we'll just paint these. Just paint this strap bit here. Just makes it a little bit clearer. You can do any colour you like, doesn't really matter. They're very, very cute. This is one of my favourite moulds from FPC. I love it. Like that. And then we'll do this side. So this can star in your treat box called I Love the Beach, couldn't it? 'Cause you've got a nice heart shaped with your flip-flops on it. Or a tropical party, you know, people have flamingo type parties, those kind of things. And then look what's in the middle there. So you could put a sprinkle in there if you want to. There is a gap. Or now I'm going to use one of these dotting tools. We are waiting for these to come in. I've taken them off the website temporarily because they do take forever because they come from abroad. I'm just going to put a little tiny dot in the centre using one of these tools. These will be back in soon. I've taken them off for the moment, stop people ordering them because they do take forever to arrive, but they are due in soon, so fingers crossed we can revisit those again. Right, so we've got that far. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to just put on, let's do some waves, I think. So we're going to do that with our royal icing. And what I'm going to do on my cookie, because I'm not going to do this, I'm going to take this like so. Now I'm going to make this, I'm going to put this on here. So I've got some royal icing that's fairly wet, because what I want to do is have a corner of this that's going to be kind of sand. So I'll put a little bit on there. So I'm making that sticky. Just sort of up to that point. I don't want to make it too huge because obviously got our flip-flops and things to go on. Actually, we put our flip-flops down here. We could put the flip-flops, to be honest, on the beach or on the sea. It doesn't matter. Either or is fine. Right, so normal sugar for this. This is where I feel like a mess is going to come on now. And we're going to take hold of... Where's my spoon gone? Right, let me go and run for that. This is when I need Kelly. Right, so we're just going to take hold of this. I'm just going to literally dump that down because we know it's going to get into a mess now, but it doesn't matter because we've nearly finished with making a mess. So press that down. Take it up a little bit onto that corner. Again, you don't have to make these straight, and the reason you don't have to make them straight is because it's a beach. Actually, the more kind of messy it is, the better, I think. And then if I take hold of my piping nozzle, and if I change it over to piping 2, we could pipe some waves. Let's pipe some waves, shall we? Oh no, that's a number 1 we don't want. Oh no, that isn't number 2. No, that's okay. So we could come across here. Let's just kind of go like this. And again like this. And then if we just take hold of a paintbrush and if we just put it in some water and just dampen it off a bit, we can just bring this down so it looks a bit like sort of the break in the water, I guess. You just dip your brush into the water and just pull that down like that. Something like that. Just making sure my sugar is setting. Press it down like that. And then you can just put the flip-flops across the whole thing. So you don't need to just specifically put them on the sea or on the beach. I'm just going to take hold of my icing and I'm going to pop one down there. I'm going to take hold of the other one. And I'm going to pop those on like that. So they're sort of half on the sea, half on the edge. How about that? How lovely is that? It's so pretty. It's really easy to do. Doesn't take very long. You can make all your flip-flops in advance. You can literally sit there and do them and then they're done. They're really, really easy to make. Little bit of blue sugar paste, bit of sugar, bit of royal icing, and there you go, that's them done. So nice and easy. So some really nice kind of beach designs coming out here. So there's, you've got your swimsuit there, and then you've got your heart-shaped cookie cutter, which we have had before. We've had at Valentine's Day and all that, which we've now converted into a lovely little beach scene of something a little bit different. So if you've already got these cookie cutters, then you can now start using them. So for this one here was the heart cookie cutter, which is in a set of 2, and then obviously the swimsuit one, which we've had before. We had it last year, but what I'm saying is we didn't have much time to do much with it last year because we literally had it out, and before I knew it we were galloping towards Halloween and I didn't have a chance to do anything with it. So this year I'm like, we need to get that swimsuit cookie cutter out because we've just done it all and we've not had a chance to do it. So you can use lots of different things, lots of luster colours. You can see the sort of sparkly technique on this one. So use your finishing sparkle, use your, this is the FPC flip-flop mould, and that's what we've used for that one there. And then obviously there's the sugar on there as well. So it's a very, very pretty cookie and you can make them all in advance. So again, if you're having some sort of beach party, or maybe you're doing something for Father's Day and somebody really likes the beach, you know, maybe that would be quite cool as well. They don't have to have pink flip-flops, but they might like pink flip-flops, you never know. So I'm just looking at this on the screen. It just looks like we've had fun, doesn't it? Because it's a bit of a mess, but that's okay, we don't mind. Right, let's have a look at the cake we did earlier. We've got about this. Let's see how this is going. It has set, which I'm very happy about. So I'm going to turn that round. You can see the cookies on the back there. So I'm going to turn that round now. So there we go. So that's my strawberry cookie cake for my aunt. It's all held in position now. Nothing is moving because it's had plenty of time to settle. So I did make this earlier on today. So if you haven't seen it, if you've just tuned in and realised that we're live, then once this live is finished, you will be able to go back and watch this being made. And there's a demo there on how to do the strawberry cookie cutters as well. So you'll know how to make all of those. So that's our strawberry cake. I'm going to show you very quickly under my incredibly messy work area, so anybody who's missed it can have a little look. Let's put that down there with a background of flip-flops, sugar and God knows what else going on there. Let's have a look at that on the camera. There we go, not too bad. So that's the, there we go, that's Auntie's cake for today. So that's the strawberry cookies. So why not use your cookies to decorate a cake as well? Don't just feel that you have to just bung them in a box and eat them. Put them on cupcakes. This is a really sweet little cookie cutter and it definitely will fit cupcakes and say all main cakes as well. I just think that was something a bit fun. I'm sure she'll love it when I find her this afternoon. So I'm going to pop that back over there.
Now I know it's set, I don't mind travelling with it. I do mind travelling with it when it's not set. I get upset then. Right, so that comes to the end of Let's Shop. So we'll just run through what we've been through this morning. So we have our new tiger cake that's come out today. So this one is out now and available to purchase as a tutorial. So if you'd like to have a go at the tiger painting class, then you need to head over to tracymanncakeschool.co.uk. This is something you can buy in its own right, or it is part membership for gold and silver people today. Gold members had theirs yesterday. They just need to log in and they will find that it's all waiting there for them. Gold membership starts from £12.50, or is at £12.50 plus your country's tax, and which is VAT in our case. And then the silver one is £10, which includes all of the cake painting. So maybe you're just interested in cake painting. In that case, silver membership would be perfect for you, and you would have access to the tiger class today. The next course that's coming out after the tiger is the log cake. So this is a 2-tier log cake. You don't have to do a 2-tier, you might fancy doing 1-tier, but it is going to show you how to make this cake. So we're going to show you how to create all the bark going around it, we're going to show you how to paint all the flowers, we're going to show you how to assemble it, we're going to show you all the different effects, painted effects that are on the side of this cake. So this one is coming out in about 2 or 3 weeks time. So this is end of June, this one. And it is our next project that will be coming out on the Cake School. We also have talked about how to price your cakes. So how to price your cakes is a Facebook class. We had a huge number of people trying to join last week for free. We're not doing that. You do need to pay for it. It's £10 to join it. So if you do want to join that class, it is normally £15. It is going to help you with how to price your cakes. It's very important at the moment. It's extremely difficult to know what you're doing with your pricing. So you need to be really on it and keep an eye on those prices. We then went on and we continued with my aunt's cake. So we used our new strawberry cookie cutter, and I showed you how to ice those as well. So again, if you've missed it, if you go back to the beginning of the live, once I've finished, you will be able to go on there and have a look. We used Renshaw's red to dye it, and also the little nonpareils, the white sprinkles that belong to Kelly. So Kelly sprinkles. Then we moved on and we did the also on that cake was the red, pink and white sprinkles, which is one of our new ones. But if you fancy a different colour scheme, if you don't fancy red and pink, then why not try the summertime ones, which are sort of lilacs and pinks, so different colour schemes. So you could do a different colour scheme for that one. Then we had our swimsuit cookie cutter, so we then showed you how to make some new different cookie ideas with that, and obviously we then did the flip-flop one, which I've just shown you a few minutes ago. Ideas for Father's Day are on the website. The only thing I would say to you is that you need to do that as soon as possible, because we intend to dispatch anything connected with that on Monday, because it will not get there in time for you because it is next weekend. So if you do want to order any of the Father's Day discs, or if you see any of the other products on there like the gardening tools, FPC mould, the silicone one, or the plastic one for chocolate, or the toolkit, anything like that, they are all being moved onto Let's Shop, so you can find them nice and easily. Nikki is brilliant. She's putting up lots of links for you so that you can actually see where things are. But if you head to Let's Shop Cake Live, not that one because we've done the school now, head to Let's Shop Cake Live, you will find everything there in terms of product. Everything in terms of school is on the tracymanncakeschool.co.uk. So if you want to purchase things over the weekend, you place more than 2 orders, we will only charge you for 1 lot of postage. We will combine that for you and put it all through as 1 order. You have till 10 o'clock on Monday to do that. After that, then we will just deal with everything on an individual transaction basis. We're not here next week, and we're not here the following week either. Next week I have got 2 weddings to deal with, and the following week I'm on holiday. So we are going to do a Tuesday night. So we're going to be doing Tuesday the 21st of June in the evening, and there will be a post about it coming up to tell you when that's going to be happening. So you either need to check this Facebook page or on YouTube, or you need to go and join our newsletter so that you're able to keep up to date as to when that is going to be happening. My next live before that is on Make It, Bake It, Decorate It, which is the Sugar and Crumbs hub, and I have one on there this month, which is next Tuesday, and I'm going to be doing my sort of beachy Love Island themed cake for that one. So if you are a member member of that, then do feel free to join me there. You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for everybody that has tuned in later today, because I do appreciate that I am a few hours later today because of my wedding that I had to go to this morning. Not my personal wedding, but a wedding that I had to go to this morning and deliver their cake. And I did deliver the cake, and I've posted a video on the gold membership page, because the gold members are going to be getting a tutorial on how to assemble a semi-naked wedding cake. Now that is very current and very up to date. So again, if you are thinking about joining the cake school, there are many current courses coming up that can be used in lots of everyday things that are coming up at the moment. Certainly I try and reflect what is being shown everywhere in the cake school to keep you up to date. Lots and lots of painting to do. If you have any questions about anything that we have shown today, or any questions with regards to anything that we do, please follow us on social media, which is at Tracy Mann Cakes, and do please let me know if you have any questions about anything that you would like to know. We do get back to you as soon as we possibly can. I am on my own at the moment because I don't have Kelly with me, so it's taken a little bit longer to get back to you other than normal, but we do have a new lady who's helping me with mail order at the moment called Angela, and she's lovely, and she is going to be here helping me over the next few weeks while Kelly is in the Netherlands. You've seen Kelly talking, she is around, so you'll see her, but she's disappeared again now. Luckily though, I have Nikki to the rescue, so thank you, Nikki. I do love the fact she helps me without me having to ask her. She's brilliant. Thank you, Nikki, because I do need help, obviously. So for everybody, I will see you on Tuesday the 21st of June for Let's Shop Cake Live. For anybody who's on the cake school, I'm on and off those lives regularly, so if you'd like to see more of me, then do please join that cake school, because I'd be more than happy to see you on there. Make It, Bake It, Decorate It group, Tuesday evening for you. Apparently I'm on at 7 o'clock. I've had my time changed, but anyway, I haven't argued that one with Carol. We'll leave it at 7. That's fine. Normally 6:30, so I don't really know what's happened there, but 7 o'clock it is. So have a lovely day, everyone. Go outside, enjoy the sunshine, but don't forget to do a bit of shopping before you do. We want to see all these beautiful creations. So take care, and I'll see you all soon.